And finally tonight on this Veterans Day Monday, a story of courage and the oath that U.S. forces take to protect the country no matter the cost, even when the odds are stacked against them, even when their comrades have fallen. 2.5 years ago, our own senior White House correspondent Jake Tapper saw the faces of some of these men and knew he had to write their story. And his new book, which comes out tomorrow, is called The Outpost, an untold story of American valor.
On October 3rd, 2009, I was at the hospital with my wife and my newborn son. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught a news story from Afghanistan.
And where 8 soldiers lost their lives in
an attack on a remote U.S. military base, Combat Outpost Keating.
I've been on 3 deployments. I've never seen that large of a force attacking one static position.
Just 53 Americans fought valiantly against up to 400 Taliban insurgents. Shown here on this terrifying video posted months later. And as I held my son, I learned of 8 other sons taken from us that day, in what was the deadliest day for the U.S. and Afghanistan that year. Over the next 2 years, I tracked down the stories of the 8 men lost that day: Kevin Thompson, Josh Kirk, Michael Scusa, Justin Gallegos, Chris Griffin, Josh Hart, Vernon Martin, and Stephen Mace. I wondered why they were stationed at that doomed outpost sitting at the bottom of 3 steep mountains just 14 miles from the Pakistan border.
It was in a very, very bad place. It was unfightable. I mean, we did what we could to fight off the enemy, but as a result of where we were at, made it very difficult for us to fight.
It turns out that a Pentagon investigation later concluded by mid-2009 there was no tactical or strategic value to the outpost. But by then, so many had paid the ultimate price, including the namesake of the camp, Lieutenant Ben Keating, a gung-ho former president of his college Young Republicans and son of Baptist ministers. Keating was killed in November 2006. These are the special men and women who make up our armed services. And so today, as we think about all those who have served and all those who we have lost, including the 8 killed that horrible October day, think also about those left behind, the children who will never know their fathers and mothers, in the name of protecting you and me.
As you wrote, Jake, uncommon valor.
It really is uncommon, and I've been covering the war in Afghanistan and Iraq from the comfort of the North Lawn of the White House. But it wasn't until I started researching this book, going to Afghanistan, talking to troops, their families, their widows, their grieving moms, that I really came to an appreciation of what it is that these people, 1%, 2% of the population, what it is they give for you and for me and for our families. And not just the troops, who obviously put themselves in harm's way, but their moms and their kids and their wives and husbands. They really deserve much more than just one day.
One day on this Veterans Day weekend. Thank you so much for this. And I did love what you wrote about them, that they are the bravest people trying to do their very best in an impossible situation in that part of the world. Thank you, Jake.